What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here at Data Dash, and today is May 5th of 2021. Well, folks, I hope you all are having a fantastic day wherever you are. And in today's video, we're going to be diving into the awash of green price action that we're seeing in the altcoin space. And I want to actually visualize something that I talk about a lot here on the channel. Not just how altcoins are gaining dominance in the market, but how we can actually visualize that valuation and liquidity circulating from the Bitcoin market over into the altcoin space. I'm going to show you real time in real valuations how it's happening. So we've got a lot of charts to dive into, a lot of important facts to dive into. Let's go ahead and dive straight into it, guys. So taking a look here over the market here, I want to emphasize, whereas Bitcoin here has been neutral over the last 7 days, this is one of the many signs we're going to take a look at today. Let's just showcase the pure valuation shift here as Bitcoin has started to stagnate and possibly even started to set in lower highs and lower lows, turning back on the trend it's been taking on since the beginning of the year. We're seeing the complete opposite in plays like a variety of the altcoins in the market, but I know Dogecoin is kind of the icon here as it's risen to the fourth largest cryptocurrency. And as we go throughout the market here, we have many plays in triple or double digit territory to the upside. Most altcoins faring well here over the last 7 days, with very few exceptions down in the small mid cap range that are in the slight red territory following Bitcoin. We can see here that there are a ton of different plays here. Uni up about 10% for the week here. We can also see here as well some of other plays. Ethereum has been a large chunk of our portfolio, up 25%. Litecoin up 31% over the last 7 days. Omise Go and Chainlink both up above 33 and 36%. And then a variety of other plays here as well that are really starting to kill it in the market in the DeFi and crypto space. Right? Now, I want to go ahead here and dive straight into this really important topic here, guys, and that's visualizing liquidity shifting, shifting from one market to another. I know a lot of people are kind of, a lot of people have asked me this before, and I think it's a very fair question because it's sometimes difficult to know how to visualize these things. They say, Nick, you always talk about liquidity shifting from Bitcoin into altcoins, or what many people in the crypto space call the money flow cycle, right? Going from Bitcoins to large caps to mid caps to small caps, and then exiting back to fiat. The question here is, how do you visualize that, right? How can we actually see liquidity shifting? And how can we spot these trends early on and also know when the trends might be slowing down? Those are very good questions. They're the questions that a smart investor should be asking. So I want to go ahead and explain how you actually can go about visualizing this to a degree. Now, we've been talking a lot on the channel. If you guys have been watching, since back in, February, March, I have constantly been talking about how Bitcoin, since it kicked off above 20K, and basically broke past the previous all-time highs and really sparked this cycle going up to the 50, 60K range in price, making a monstrous move here and bringing Bitcoin to an over $1 trillion asset valuation. We'd really focused on these these higher highs and higher lows, right? You have a higher significant high here, higher significant low, higher significant high, higher significant low, that were always outpacing the previous highs and lows until we started to face a bit of stagnation and momentum, right? And in fact, what we started to do is we set in a new lower low and what is starting to look like a new lower high. And this is a clear sign within price here that the trend is reversing and liquidity is starting to circulate out of the market. Either people are cashing in and not getting back into the game, or it's going elsewhere. And I got to be honest with you all, as much as people think people are just cashing out, they're going to the beach, they're retiring. No, most people in this case, in the crypto market, from the whales to the everyday investors, are recirculating their capital into other cryptocurrencies. So in this case, altcoins. And how can we go about validating this? Well, let's take a look at what we've technically been looking at here in order to get Bitcoin's market cap, right? This is, as you can see here, probably by the 1.016 trillion. We're not looking at price here. This is total minus total 2, which takes the total market cap, in this case, total is the total market cap of the crypto space, minus total 2, which is, broadly speaking, the altcoin market valuation. Let's go ahead and take a look here as we see these lower highs and lower lows, right? Let's go ahead and take a look at total 2. That's painting a little bit of a different picture here, right? Similar to how in the stock market you have the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ and the Russell 2000, which basket and create indexes of a variety of different stocks in different categories of valuation or sectors of the economy, or certain statutes in this case. The Dow Jones is the 30 largest companies, industrial companies, and the overall publicly traded stock market. The S&P 500, 500 major reputable companies that span a wide range of the broader equity market, and the NASDAQ, thousands of equities in the tech sector and innovative sectors of the economy, right? There are also indexes of performance here for the crypto space. And total, in this case, which is the broader crypto space, or total minus total 2, which is Bitcoin's market cap, we also need to be looking at these kinds of markers of valuation and performance. And total 2 here gives us a great way to see how the broad altcoin space is performing. Well, take a look here, right? We peaked out previously for altcoin valuations here on April 15th, had the correction with Bitcoin. We followed that decline in the market. But what's interesting is that as we come around here towards the 25th here, right, we actually start reversing upwards in a much more dramatic fashion. And whereas Bitcoin set in a lower high here on its valuation, we had lost in this case from this high to this high a little bit more than $100 billion. And now technically we've lost about $200 billion in valuation for Bitcoin. Altcoins have set in a new high around 1.2 trillion. And would you look at that, roughly speaking, where the highs were topping out here previously, the relative high back here in mid-April, we topped out around 1.05 trillion for total altcoin market cap. And now we're generally topping out here or there around 1.2. We can do the math here, and we can see here very clearly, right, not only in a visualization of market valuation, that altcoins are setting a new all-time highs where Bitcoin isn't, liquidity shifting, but we can see here that the valuation has shifted very dramatically and very clearly. This is what we talk about when we talk about the crypto money flow cycle. Now, I will be very blunt and careful with you guys on this. I want to make it very clear. Valuation is not always a direct sign of liquidity shifting over. What I mean is, like, it's not always a dollar in for a dollar in one market to the other, right? It can be, it's very important to understand here that when it comes to altcoins, you are going to be much more susceptible here, much more susceptible, as some altcoins are traded on no-name exchanges. They're traded on very thin liquidity, right? And this is usually a problem with like the small caps and kind of speculative tokens. Some of that valuation is not warranted and is very, very short-lived. And that's an important point just in general to keep in mind with altcoins, right? We have so many great technical setups here, guys. Ethereum charging up here just in the past couple of days, up 24.4%, and looks like it's pretty much on pace to outpace the previous month here if we keep climbing the way that we are. Litecoin here as well, right? Just in this past week here, up 26%. If we take it here to the monthly chart, we can see here that we've been absolutely crushing it, right? And we're playing through the exact same repetition of buy-side pressure here on the ratio against Bitcoin, right? Already up 28% here for the week and 40% as of last month, making great gains against Bitcoin. Uni, which is launching Uni V3 today, right? We finally got Uniswap V3 coming out today here on May 5th. Might signal here the catalyst for breakout above its previous all-time highs against Bitcoin. We'll have to see, right? The setup looks good. Chainlink popping off here in the last week alone, almost 30% to the upside, setting in those higher lows, continuing on the support line we built back here since April and May of 2019, and looking like it wants more, right? We have all these great developments going on, all this price action in the market, people doubling, tripling, 4 or 5xing their portfolios against Bitcoin, possibly in the case of Dogecoin, which if we just take a look at the chart here, right? Take a look at Doge, right? Over 1,200 sats here, up here from 20, 30 sats back at the beginning of the year. Crazy valuation gains in the altcoin space, right? The important thing to note, though, is that the train is really fun to ride, but you need to be able to know when to take profits, because there's two things to keep in mind. There will be liquidity shifting from one altcoin to the other. And I'm not just harping on Doge. I mean, Doge has blown away all of us at this point. I'm not going to badger on Doge anymore, right? Liquidity will shift from one altcoin to another, especially as we go from the large caps to the mid caps and the small caps, historically speaking. But we also need to know that it's a game of musical chairs. And I can tell you guys, whereas in musical chairs, there's usually one chair that's, basically there's one person left without a chair. There's going to be a lot of people left without chairs, like as with every euphoric cycle in a market. So what we need to know how to do here is we need to understand when we're in the early innings here or the late innings and understand the signs of what we need to look for. And it's the same exact things that we've talked about with Bitcoin here. There are no technical indicators. It is simply looking for lower highs and lower lows, right? And so far, we're setting in higher lows and higher highs. And one thing that's really critical to keep in mind here is that so long as we hold on this previous range here, right, this previous high, right, so if we hold above $1.1 trillion, roughly speaking, and we continue moving higher and break past this range, that would be a catalyst here to climb even higher. And again, let's just step back here. Let's take a look here. And let's even go to the monthly chart here just to kind of get a full picture here, right? We're estimating that altcoin market cap is going to go to 5 trillion, right? So whether or not this is the only altcoin cycle where altcoins really go that high, or we have a midpoint, which I think is much more realistic, where we go around $2 trillion and start to falter over, maybe 1.5 trillion, right? And then we start to move later on in the cycle to have a secondary cycle, right? We're still early on in this, guys, right? But just know again, if you had a player that has made life-changing gains for you guys, as we talked about a previous couple of videos ago, 5x, 10x, even 2x could be a massive deal for you guys. I don't know your personal financial life, right? I don't know if you've got a mortgage, if you've got a family, if you've got things like debt, all these different things that might be holding over you. Pay down those debts, right? Make sure to take care of the things that matter most to you. But at the same time, if your crypto portfolio is one of your best performing asset classes and you think there's going to be more, right? Maybe best to tap into other resources, other investments in this case, right? Ride your winners. And until you see the signs that it's faltering, that it's turning over, and if you take a look at the monthly, guys, we can get some pretty clear signs here when that's happening, right? Or if you just take a look at the daily chart here, right? And start to see these lower highs and lower lows, we'll see the same exact signs in the crypto market with altcoins. It just might be a little bit more dramatic. So knowing those signs within price to look out for are very important. But I have to say here, guys, overall, Ethereum has really been leading the way here in the sense of actual valuation gain, as it is the second largest cryptocurrency, right? Overall, there's a lot of fundamentally exciting developments in the DeFi space. And I'll go ahead and wrap this up here because that's something we're going to be talking about in a future video, which is the performance of the DeFi market here, and what we're going to be looking forward to over the next coming weeks. We've already seen it here. If we take a look here at the DeFi index here, the DeFi perpetual contracts and FTX divided by Bitcoin, we've had the breakout and we're in the midst of it. So it's going to be about knowing what plays you need to watch in the small and mid cap space because it's coming sooner than we think, in my opinion. I mean, from what I can see here on the metrics, small and mid caps are going to have their heyday very soon. It just might not be as crazy as the last few time rounds because there are a lot of people trading more on the large caps than before. A lot of liquidity is still stuck there as there's derivatives and futures trading and leverage trading, etc. So anyways, guys, I've rambled on enough today. I'm very excited to see where things go. If you guys like this video, please drop a like as always down below. It means the world. It's one of the best things you can do for the channel. Leave a comment on your thoughts about what we talked about today. And along with that as well, if you guys want to support me, there's a variety of ways to down below in the description. You can sign up for the newsletter. You can support us on Patreon, etc. There's a lot of great ways and also some referral links and stuff if you guys want to support the channel. But I'm all about trying to give you guys as much free alpha, free insight here into the market as I possibly can. And if you enjoyed the video, again, at the end of the day, a like is always appreciated. All right, guys, take care. Thank you all so much for giving me some time out of your day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care, everyone.